One random day, while scrolling through the YouTube trending section, suddenly a K-pop video pops up, and you think, how is this video trending in my country? And then you click it to find out what's inside. This is the way how most people are first introduced to the Korean culture, and once they see it, there is no turning back. After the Korean War unofficially ended in 1953, South Korea had to build almost everything from the ground up. In the following decades, its economy grew exponentially, and it has now achieved the status of a developed nation. But during this period, something unexpected happened. The world witnessed what we call today the Korean Wave. The Korean Wave, or the Hallyu, refers to the global popularity of South Korea's cultural economy, exporting pop culture, entertainment, music, esports, TV dramas, and movies. And this is not over yet. The Korean culture is still taking the entire globe by storm. So, what has South Korea managed to pull off that other countries didn't? In 1988, the country first opened for foreign entertainment when 20th Century Fox became the first American film studio to set up a distribution office in South Korea. By 1994, Hollywood began dominating the movie market. According to Korean media, the revenues of Jurassic Park surpassed the revenues generated by the sale of 1.5 million Hyundai automobiles. Hyundai being the national pride, the government shifted its focus towards culture as an exportable industry. It was this time when the Cultural Industry Bureau was set up by the Ministry of Culture, which would then go on to develop the country's media sector. In 2019, 17.5 million tourists visited the country, mainly to explore the culture and visit the places where their favorite K-pop artists had shot their music videos. The government has fully understood the importance of this cultural industry and is trying every possible way to take it global in order to increase the country's soft power. If you have used the internet, there is a high chance that you have heard the term K-pop. Korean pop started to have its influence in Asia during the 90s and the 2000s, but it really grabbed the global attention in 2012 after the single Gangnam Style went viral and became the first song to reach a billion views on YouTube. After that, things really took off. The popular bands like BTS and Blackpink has gathered a huge amount of following internationally. A report suggests that the BTS single Dynamite has added 1.4 billion US dollars to the South Korea's economy, along with creating 8,000 jobs. At a time when the sales of physical albums are dropping, 5 K-pop albums crossed over a million sales globally in 2020. But these bands aren't just found, they are created, just like a product. The members undergo years of rigorous training before they are grouped together and introduced to the public. In fact, South Korea has dedicated K-pop art schools, which offer kids a shot at global stardom. Music is often the first point of contact to the South Korean culture for the rest of the world. That is why it is crafted in such a way that it appeals to the West while keeping certain cultural elements intact. On the other side of entertainment industry is Korean drama. In 2020, the thriller Parasite won 4 Oscars and also became the first non-English language film to win the Oscar for Best Picture. The series Crash Landing on You, which also came out in the same year, has garnered 1.75 billion online views. The streaming website for the drama, which holds the copyright in China, crashed on the night it aired the final episode due to the enormous number of users. In the United States, Variety magazine named Crash Landing on You one of the best international shows on Netflix and one of the best international TV series of 2020. The rising popularity of Korean drama has also pushed Netflix to grow its Korean content. In the last 5 years, the streaming platform invested $700 million on expanding its slate of Korean content. And in this year alone, it is spending an enormous $500 million to produce films and series. It can't be ignored that this pop culture has benefited most from the internet. The country has world's fastest average internet speed, with the internet penetration being 96%. For many years, France and Japan were considered the leaders of global cosmetics industry. In recent times, however, South Korea has become incredibly well known for its beauty products and bringing its own innovation and quality to the market. K beauty products are now sought after around the world. The market size of these products was valued at $10 billion in 2019 and is projected to reach 14 billion by 2027, growing at annual rate of 9%. The industry is becoming an increasingly lucrative business for cosmetic companies owing to its high production margin, thereby making it further profitable. From 2010 to 2014, foreign companies spent at least $215 million to acquire cosmetics firms there. In the next 5 years, the country became the world's fourth largest exporter of beauty products. The overseas popularity of Korean food has also witnessed a rise owing to the Hallyu. The market size of the Korean restaurants in the US peaked at $8 billion in 2019, later declining to $5 billion in 2021 due to the pandemic. All of this popularity is not without its negative consequences. The West has often criticized the media industry due to its excessive commercialization. Countries like China, Taiwan, and Japan do not want their population to be addicted to Korean culture as they see it not just as an art but as a weapon used by the South Korean government to increase its influence on a global scale. Korean media gained so much influence that the Chinese government began restricting the number of K-dramas being shown to the Chinese audience. And speaking of Japan, it still has negative sentiments towards the Korean wave due to the political history of the two countries. There are also internal conflicts in the entertainment industry. It has been faced with the claims of mistreatment towards its musical artists. Several artists have raised their voice over unfair 6 to 7 year long contracts, and this has resulted in a positive response from the producers and media houses. Several rules have been changed, giving the artists more flexibility to work. Today, the Korean culture is looked up by many. It has a long way to go and it is not stopping anytime soon. If you like the video, subscribe the channel and hit the like button. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, bye bye.